Hi, this is Courtney Hale from the Center for Natural and Traditional Knowledge, and I'm here today to tell you a story. I want to begin with the point in time when the Europeans arrived in what the Native Americans, some of them called Turtle Island. What they found when they came here must have absolutely blown their minds. They found something that was inexplicably beautiful. They found huge forests full of delicious food, a sustainable kind of way of life that had long since been lost in Europe as much of their land had become deforested. And what happened is obviously a matter of record and history, that quickly things were deforested and opened up for agricultural purposes. Large parcels of land were subsectioned into smaller and smaller pieces of land, and the buffalo were slaughtered in order to use the land in a different kind of way. What happened as the Native Americans were subsequently herded up into smaller and smaller parcels of land was something that caused a tremendous amount of grief for Native Americans, and I think has never really been looked at properly as the Holocaust that it was, not only for the Native people, but also eventually now for the Europeans and all the people of different ancestries who live here together now. And that we lost that beautiful way of life has been a Holocaust unto itself. And so what I wanted to talk about today was the story of Wovoka and Wounded Knee. Wounded Knee and the massacre that took place there is also a matter of record and well known to many people, so I certainly won't go over it. But the reasons why it actually happened are perhaps more interesting, because what led to the massacre may have had more to do with the spiritual and energetic components of the ghost dance that was taking place at the time. What Wovoka actually did was to put together a number of different aspects of different ceremonies, probably, or you could say that he channeled it. He was considered to be a messiah of sorts, or maybe a super shaman. And so what happened was that he put together the ghost dance in order to help to unite the people and allow them to express this tremendous grief over not only the loss of their family members and their terrible deaths, but also over the loss of an entire way of life. And so what he invoked, I'm told, was the eventual return of the buffalo. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, that's quaint, he wanted the buffalo to come back because all these buffalo were killed and it was a horrible scene. But apparently what he was actually referring to was the return of the people, the buffalo people. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Because at least 5 million Native Americans died during this time, and they were invoked to return at an appointed juncture in the space-time continuum, which apparently has something to do with right now, because this is the time when that way of life that was brought here for a very good reason is starting to crumble. This is our moment of opportunity where all of that technology that eventually came of our European ancestry and all of this wonderful work that has been made to come true on the backs of so many layers of slaves and immigrants, the price has already been paid for what we've got at our fingertips right now, and there's no going back. But what we can do is we can actually use that to our advantage, and we have this tiny little window of opportunity. And I think that in his shamanic voyaging, perhaps Wovoka actually foresaw that. And when he invoked the return of the buffalo, he was talking about the people. He was talking about the return of those 5 million people who died. Now, I guess there must be some Native American elders somewhere who are wondering why all these white people and all these black people and who knows, Asian and every different kind of people are showing up asking for teachings about Native American traditions. And probably on some level there's this reluctance or inherent mistrust because these, in effect, they might feel are the people who are responsible for the slaughter of their ancestors and the buffalo, and who knows how they might feel, perhaps not altogether welcoming. But I believe that it's really important at this point in time for us to all come together very quickly, because if the mojo that Wovoka laid down actually did come true, it means that right now we have 5 million Native Americans incarnate here who've come for a specific purpose, and that's to bring back the old ways, the beautiful ways, the earth-honoring ways that were once a part of the way of life here. But the thing is, there aren't enough Native Americans to birth that many Native Americans physically. So we're showing up in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And so that it's an important lesson for all of us to look at each other as brother and sister, as long as our work is being done in the same spirit of beauty and earth-honoring traditions. So I ask you to look at the ghost dance and to consider the possibility that we all are the Buffalo Nation who has come back together in this place and time.